Welcome to a meditation for communicating from the soul. What happens when you need to say something really important in your life and you don't because you're afraid of maybe getting judged? Maybe you feel like you're going to always be misunderstood or maybe even rejected, cast out of your group. We need to be talking from the soul level, and this meditation is going to hopefully help you do this. And we have some astrological aspects in today. Today is July 25th, 2018, but the meditation will always be good, so you can come back and listen to it over and over again. We're going to choose a candle for today's meditation. And as you get into your relaxed state and begin to wind down a little bit. You can do this driving to work, but just don't zone out too much. And we always start the meditation with some sort of method of relaxation. And in this case, we need to try to get closer and closer to the soul itself. And the way we're going to do that is start to notice that you can direct your attention and your awareness on really anything that you want to be aware of. In fact, some of you probably have already drifted to thoughts outside of my voice. If you would be willing to come back to my voice, I can show you that you can become aware of other noises outside of here, or you can become aware of your thoughts. They might look like images, they might even be audible and sound like voices from the past or from current people in your life. You can even become aware of sensations and feelings in your body. And all of these are real in the physical sense. But underneath it all is a different kind of sense that I can be aware of anything I want to be aware of. All I have to do is be conscious and present in my awareness. In other words, we're becoming aware of your awareness. Becoming aware of the power of your awareness. That there's this underlying authority in you that is different than all these sensations, all the things that you have become aware of. There's something underneath it all in you that can decide to be aware of it or not. That is closer to the soul aspect than what we normally are used to in our heads and our thinking. In fact, we need to, before we get into soul communication, we need to be aware of the things that indicate we're not talking from the soul. Many of us would like to be thinking logically and communicating from the rational mind. And think about how this works. Think about last time you thought and spoke rationally and how it feels like it's coming from the head. How it feels like there's cogs spinning in the head. The problem with logic in this case, in terms of bringing out the soul in your communications, is that logic is based on assumptions. And that's what we're trying to sift through from the rational world and get down below into a deeper layer of soul communication. So we're going to bypass the assumptions. Next, we typically have an ego that doesn't like to feel certain things, and it wants to feel pleasure and it wants to avoid pain. And so it communicates as well based on the emotions that it feels. So we have an ego reaction, and this is easy to reflect in the times of your life when you have reacted emotionally. Maybe afterwards you felt maybe a little embarrassed. So we're going to bypass these ego reactions and all the emotions that have caused those reactions. And we're going to get down to the soul level. Soul communication happens when the thoughts are mild, calm mental activity. Emotions are calm as well, but don't try to repress emotions to make it look like you're calming down. Okay, we are actually aware of our emotions, and in that awareness, the emotions start to calm. We're aware of the thoughts, and thus they start to calm. We open up our heart, and the last item, at least if you're talking, is that you're going to relax the throat. Throat is where the throat chakra is. That's a very communication-based energy center. And when the throat is restricted, it restricts our soul from talking. So we're going to open our heart and consciously relax all of the muscles between the heart and the lips, including the lips. Relax everything from the heart to the lips and communicate with our throat completely and consciously relaxed. Attributes of soul communication is that there's a sense of confidence in the speech. There's a sense of calm that is not clouded in overconfidence. It comes from a place of love and not fear. When the soul speaks, it's a resounding relaxation throughout the body. It feels natural. It feels freeing to communicate from the soul. Remember too that speech and speaking is not the only way to communicate from the soul. We have other methods, one of them called automatic writing or soul writing. Some people call it channeling the higher self. And by now, hopefully, you have become even more relaxed and more hypnotic. And this is the state at which you're going to pick up your pencil or pen with a pad of paper in front of you and just write whatever word comes in your head. And if you will allow yourself to really relax, remembering to keep the mind at bay and not think at all, let the hand begin to write more words without judging what you're writing, without trying to rationalize what the next word should be. The material that the soul is writing has to come through what we're used to, this ego filter. And so you really have to consciously allow your hand to just begin writing. We can do the same thing with music. We can do the same thing with artwork. We can do the same thing with dance and movement. So I encourage you to take this practice with you. Do some automatic writing. Do some automatic soul level, quieted mind, relaxed state, hypnotic channeling of your higher self. And bring out what the soul wants to communicate to the world without fear of judgment. If you enjoyed this meditation, I encourage you to subscribe, because we're going to be putting out daily meditations that have to do with the biggest collective influence that we're all feeling. So please subscribe. If you would like to continue meditating, go ahead and pause. For those of you who would like to continue with the co-mind report, then start to count back from 5 up to 1 and become more present. As we come back from the meditation, we have quite a project co-mind report to report today, July 25th, 2018. And we have a lot of aspects that obviously are associated with needing to bring out the soul. And so we are going to talk about the biggest influence that might be affecting the way you think, feel, and behave today, July 25th, 2018. But if you're listening to this later, you can always get the more current one by going to our YouTube channel at NationalDreamCenter, all one word. Okay, we're just going to cover that next. I am Chris McClary with the National Dream Center, NationalDreamCenter.com and ProjectComind.com. And we're going to start with the astrology. Remember, for those of you who are new, we're looking for the biggest collective influence on any given day that's affecting the way that you behave and feel. Now, if you look at the astrology, there's lots of different aspects here, lots of different aspects. And we're going to be looking and sifting through the various sources to see which one is the most powerful today. A lot of people are talking about Sun in Leo. Do I have my cursor? No. There we go. Sun in Leo, it's over the North Node. We have Mercury going retrograde. And then we got a lot of stuff happening up here in Capricorn in preparation for the eclipse coming up in a couple of days on Friday. But, well, I might as well just go straight to the Dreambot, because this is where it's all happening in terms of telling us which one of these aspects is the most important, at least from a collective influence standpoint. And because Mercury is in retrograde today, alternative communication is the name of the game. We have mask. Okay, so the blue arrows are looking at visual stuff, so visual communication. If Mercury's in retrograde, there's a good chance that I'm not going to be able to speak very well, which has already been the case, by the way. And you can even see that in the Dreambot run and profile. So I'm trying, okay? I'm looking for different memes in the DreamBot run itself. Okay, and I have collected these blue arrows because mask has to do with what you see. You're just trying to display something different than what you're feeling. And it connects down with used visual. Remember, okay, so what I'm thinking, what's becoming clear in this DreamBot run is that if communication is very difficult, which by the way, I wouldn't do a lot of negotiating today, making strict contracts, and this Mercury retrograde lasts for about a month, but the transition periods are probably and arguably the most energetic. So, in my mind, at least the DreamBot is displaying to me, is that alternative modes of communication are probably going to be premium today. And one of those is used visual. Oh, right here. Used visual, and that connects with mask. Maybe take down the mask and use visual. But then we also have the red arrows. Music is another form of communication. Play notes, and that connects up with music. Also, look for intention, the inner intention. A lot of miscommunication is going to be based off of assumptions, so don't assume. And make sure that you're looking at other people's assumptions of you. Okay, they have just as of a risk of making bad assumptions of you. And so look at their facial expressions while they talk. While you talk, look at their facial expressions. You can tell whether or not they're picking up the communication correctly or not. And make sure your intentions are clear. Okay, now check this out. Numerology, as I move my face over here. Okay, there's some things. Seven is they might be considering it a lucky day, but it probably not a day for trying to get too close to someone. So that's kind of a good news in terms of what we've seen earlier in the astrology and the DreamBot, is that the numerology is saying that you naturally don't want to get too close with a 7 today, and so that's kind of gives you a buffer from all this miscommunication. But I want to highlight this: 7 never tries to draw attention to itself. So we've already dropped the ego, as we talked about earlier. In fact, 7 would rather stay in the background, watching, thinking, reflecting. That's a great place to be today. Come to think of it. So this numerology is actually a solution, or part of the solution of the problem. However, it's precisely this air of aloofness that makes 7 stand out from the crowd and get recognized. So don't be so fast to get your communication out today. Okay, slow it down. Numerology is saying that you're going to probably have a tendency to feel a little bit aloof today. And that's okay. Just kind of hang out in the background, wait for your turn, and it's in this aloofness that you're probably going to get more recognized anyway. So, and then don't forget, speaking from the soul. If for some reason you're getting the DreamBot run first, then go back and listen to the meditation on soul communication. It'll be a very valuable method for not just today, but really always speaking from the heart and speaking from the soul. If you found value in the meditation and the Co-Mind Report, please subscribe. You're going to get notifications if you click the bell, and that way you can get the daily updates of the Co-Mind Reports and the meditations. We are the National Dream Center, healing the collective psyche, one mind at a time. Thanks. Have a great day.